Hello, my name's Dick Grove, and welcome to the See It, Hear It, Play It, Part 1, Lesson 1 video course. And I'm glad I have the opportunity to be working with you, and I invite you to just sit back and listen a little bit and see how you like this. First of all, this is sort of a unique format. Between this 2-hour video, which you can watch as many times as you want to, and your textbook, your assignment book, and your answer book, which are all comb-bound together here, and your ear training cassette, plus my telephone support, we have a very unique way of working with you so that you can learn this stuff for yourself. And let's first sort of qualify what we're doing here. This is what we call a musicianship course. This works on making you a better musician, filling in gaps or problems that you've had, giving you a nice solid foundation, the equivalent of going to a professional music school for a year. And in fact, we include a lot of things in this that you wouldn't even get in a music school. And it's all designed to give you instant ability to use this stuff. And you'll find that no matter what instrument you play or sing or write songs, whatever your application of your music is, it's going to make a major difference in what you do. We deal with a lot of people, thousands of people, and their backgrounds are all different, so I'm sure yours is different than anybody else's, and that's what makes it an intriguing set of possibilities here. What we're trying to do is sort of level things off. So as you listen to all this, you are going to react to it in various ways. You're going to say, well, I already know that. Well, you may know it, but we will be looking at the way you know it. Because what we're doing that's unique here is tying the modern harmony or the theory of this to ear training. And that is always the bottom line. You can intellectually learn stuff, but until you can hear it and get it on an intuitive level, you're really doing it the hard way. So that's what we're trying to solve. So there are 12 lessons to this course. This first lesson is very important. It presents the foundation to the whole thing. If you think of a pyramid upside down on its point, and everything grows from that and expands, that's what this first lesson is. Everything rests on this. So even though this is not a 500-page book, this lesson, and it covers a minimum of things, they're very important. And they're very important that you understand it on a real level. So that's his first lesson. The second lesson will then build off of this. So every lesson builds off the last. In the second lesson, we get into how to hear key changes, how to hear modulations, and go over your understanding of intervals between notes, how you name them, how you think with them. The third lesson gets into diatonic triads, but again with our ear training aspect to it so that you can hear those. Fourth lesson gets into minor scales, which are for many people sort of a gray area because there's more than one, and then you get confused about which was which. And then the fifth lesson gets into rhythms, anticipations, syncopation, how to write them down, and so forth. Very important lesson. Most people think of rhythm as being sort of on an intuitive level, and if it doesn't work for them, they don't know what to do about it. So this will give you a theory of rhythm which hopefully will give you a solid footing on that. The sixth lesson is really unique. It's an approach or a concept of mine I call shapes. And that's the lesson that will tell you how to hear and how to relate to voicings for guitar, keyboards, arranging, orchestration. And in essence, that one lesson will give you the gist of every possible voicing there is and how to hear it. Very important. The seventh and eighth lessons get into 4-part chords and how to hear those. The ninth lesson gets into the blues and pentatonic and modal kinds of music. And then starting with the 10th lesson, it begins a series of lessons of a concept of mine I call chord families. And this takes the whole set of possibilities, every chord form there is about 100 of them, and combines them into 9 families of chords, and anything within a family is interchangeable. And so this organizes all your chords for you, and more importantly, shows you how to hear them. So this is where we get the 9ths, 11ths, and 13ths. And then part 2, which is a separate course, goes from lessons 13 to 20, and that goes through all the chromatic chord families. So by the time a person goes through these 20 chapters, you have more knowledge than if you had a doctorate in music in the area of contemporary music and being a spontaneous musician. And you're really, at that point, prepared to get into those levels where your music sounds more professional and more like what you're expecting of yourself. See, the reason why people like yourselves do this is because, however you want to call it, one way or the other, you're hooked on seeing how creative you can be and how much enjoyment you can get from your music. And that's the point here, is you want to have some fun with this, you want to feel good about it. And when you're doing it on your own, like most people are, sort of what I call the bump into method. You do whatever you get a chance to do, and if you left something out, you don't even know it. It's very hard to do. What these courses are designed to do is fill in the gaps, give you a good solid foundation, and then everything changes once that happens. You got a car that runs on 8 cylinders. You got all your ducks in a row, so to speak. And it makes the growing and the evolving of your music 10 times easier. It's like when you buy a computer. There's an operating system in every computer that makes it work. So you press a letter on the keyboard and the operating system makes it all happen. We all need a musical operating system. And if you don't have one that works, then you're paying a real price. You're compromising everything you do. And that's what we want to help with. Now, the way I teach, I think, is a little bit different than most people. What I try to do is give you the essence of what all this stuff is about. So instead of having to take lessons for years and years and years, we try to get right down to it. It's like the old Johnny Carson show. Here's the answer. What's your question? And that's the way you should go towards this stuff, is I'm letting you in on a secret. So I've had a lot of experience, but I'm going to tell you a story. And you're going to sit there and you're going to react to that story one way or the other. If it's something you think you know, fine. And that verifies you're thinking the way I think you should think. However, if it's apples I'm talking about and you thought it was oranges, we need to get that straightened out and make it fit into the overall picture of things so we get things organized. And then the third thing is you're going to learn some stuff you need to know. And I suggest there'll probably be a lot of that. But the main thing here is this is across-the-board education. In other words, we're not going to spend a lesson on learning how to play a tune, because you have to live a long time to play enough tunes to do what you want to do. When you get done with this stuff, you're going to have a way of going towards anything you want to go towards and have some authority and confidence with it. Now, the way we show you in our catalog on page 4, our educational tree, this is the tree trunk of the education, and from this is a branch that applies it to keyboards, to guitar, to writing, arranging, composing, orchestration. And this is our chance to get everything filled in, get you a nice solid foundation, get your ear working on a level that allows you to absorb this new information and then make it your own. And getting started like this, let me first tell you a little bit about my experience. I've been very fortunate. I've been a professional all my life. I was a working keyboardist when I first started, and that was until I was around 30 years old. And then having moved to Los Angeles, I then got into writing for the studios, for television network shows, variety shows, records. A lot of people. You've seen my bio, I think, in our catalog. And then in the 70s, I started getting interested in music education because I became aware of what they weren't teaching, and I thought that wasn't right. So I tried to do my 2 cents worth there. And I've had a lot of wonderful experiences. I had the Grove School of Music in Los Angeles for 20 years, which was sort of thought of in the education world as a one-of-a-kind school.